You are now tuned in to Go Time Dolphins with Charlie Touche and Kadeem Simmons, the Miami Dolphins podcast that's for the fans and by the fans.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. Go. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Go. Don't waste no time.
We often go back and forth about who the greatest Power Ranger is or was. And, long-time listeners of Go Time Dolphins know, new listeners are about to find out. I was always of the opinion that the Green Ranger was the best Power Ranger. And, it's one of those things where life, has a way of just at the worst, not I wouldn't say the worst time, but just a way of going, you know what, today's one of those days. And on Sunday, the Miami Dolphins bye week, Jason David Frank, the actor who played Tommy in the original Power Rangers, the Green Ranger, later, I guess transformed into the White Ranger, and passed away at the age of 49. So, I don't really speak to Sherman Steve that much, apart from his on the shows and stuff like that. But he mentioned me saying, "Have you seen this?" And I was like, "Yeah." I tweeted it out. My goat, the Green Ranger, Tommy, Jason David Frank, passed away age 49. Just a sad day for Power Rangers fans.
Bro, Sherrod Steve hit me up too, and it's crazy that he sent me the link. So I didn't know until he sent me the link because I'm not really social media savvy like that. And he sent me the link. I'm like, dang, that's crazy, man. But one episode, I said I was going to show y'all these cleats, and I showed the cleats in that one episode. But what better time to show them again? The former Miami Dolphin wide receiver Jakeem Grant gave us a pair of cleats on Go Time Dolphins for Go Time Dolphins, and the cleats were Power Ranger cleats. And there's no better time to show them again. And one has the White Ranger, one has the Green Ranger in there. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy how life has a way of going about things, and nonetheless, here we are.
Yeah. Before we delve into the show, delve into Miami Dolphins bye week, what we have to discuss this week. I know you aren't the biggest soccer fan until it turns into the World Cup, and at that point, you don't miss a single game. So the World Cup has officially kicked off. Host nation Qatar played against Ecuador. Did you manage to catch the game? I know you was out this morning. But did you manage to catch it?
So I didn't catch it because I was at church. You feel me? And I'm like, dang, boy, I gotta divvy up my time the right way. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, the Dolphins didn't play today. I get to enjoy church. You feel me? And without having what's up, I gotta make the Dolphin game. So I had to put some things on the back burner. And unfortunately, World Cup is one of them. But US, we about to make this thing happen on Monday. So I don't have any hope this year for the U.S. national men's team. Listen, no hope. Like when we played in Brazil, I thought there was a chance. I'm like, yo, there's a chance we're gonna sneak up on somebody, and we had stoppage time goals, like two of them. I think, if I remember correctly, it was like, no way, this is the year. This is the Cinderella year. And then the last World Cup, it just was not it. Like, are you serious? You feel me? So this one, I'm gonna be real with you. I have zero hope, zero confidence. And honestly, if we don't make it out the group, which we should, but if we don't make it out the group, I'm not gonna be surprised at all.
I don't think you'll make it out of the group. Like it's like I'm not even being disrespectful. It's England are the favourites. Iran are a very difficult team to beat. They'll play very defensive, trying to hit you in a counter attack. I can't think of the NFL equivalent to a team that play like that outside of maybe. I guess you call them I guess you can call them a Brian Flores led Miami Dolphins team, which wants like be solid on defense, score points on defense, but then I guess run the ball, but they didn't even run the ball. Do you know what I mean? So like
Yeah.
that's probably like the most modern day equivalent I can think of. The team that's basically going to try and grind out 1-0 wins in soccer, and I guess 10-3 victories in the NFL. And then Wales are a team who I think this is their first World Cup ever, if not maybe only like the second appearance at a World Cup.
Yeah.
They've got Gareth Bell, who currently plays for, I think, the LA team in the US. He's kind of like their talisman. So I reckon Wales are the sneaky favourites to qualify alongside England. I think the US will probably have to beat Iran, draw against Wales, and chances are they probably believe they'll lose to England and hope that 4 points will be enough to qualify.
It's Go Time Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins podcast that goes not only across the pond, but across the world. I'm your boy, Charlie Touche. I got my co-host, Kadeem Simmons, with me. It's always for the fans and by the fans. Your favorite podcast. And I'm betting every game against the U.S. I don't think we're going to make it happen.
You know what? As I said that, I believe whoever. So you got Wales on Monday, right? First game.
No, I actually think we will beat Wales, but I'm betting against us, so it's a win-win for me.
I think whoever wins that game qualifies, because I think both Wales and US should beat Iran. I think both would probably expect to lose to England. So it's literally whoever wins between the Wales and the United States. I guess it's similar to, again, to bring it back to the NFL when the Patriots just won everything basically, and whoever finished second in the AFC East would basically be whoever beat each other essentially. If the Dolphins could sweep the Jets and the Bills, they probably finish second in the AFC East. So yeah, I think.
Speaking of the Jets and the Bills and sweeping and AFC East, but it's a close game at the time of recording. At the time of us recording this podcast, it's a close game between the Jets and the Patriots. It's actually tied up 3 apiece. And the Bills are currently losing. Is there a world, Kadeem, where the Bills don't make the playoffs? Is it like a sneaky, you guys, they have a Miami Dolphins season where they go like 11-6 and then don't get in? Is that a possibility, Kadeem?
No, but I think not because of them being good. I think other teams being bad. It's like what I said a few weeks ago. I think if you can better the Chargers or the Bengals record, then you're probably going to make it. I think if both of those teams were playing good football this year, then you might look at the Bills going, you might mess around, win 11 games and not make it. But I think with Justin Herbert and the beat up Chargers and the Joe Burrow and the beat up Bengals both being kind of buns this season, then I believe that the Bills should be okay. But I'm like me watching to my right, I guess just Green's left. I've also got this Jets and Patriots games, and I'm watching both of them just going, are these fan bases really trying to talk to the Dolphins right now? Like, I watched I believe it might have been an ESPN segment with Charles Woodson and someone else. And Charles Woodson was saying how, he's in the sea riding with the Dolphins, the Dolphins going to the playoffs. And people were like, what about the Jets? And he was like, he literally said, like, the last game of the regular season is Jets Dolphins. And I think someone was like, yeah, but, the Jets beat the Dolphins. He was like, Tua didn't play that game. Like, Tua is not losing to the Jets. So I'm watching this game going, what should I be afraid of, as a Dolphins fan? I've seen Zach Wilson throw potential or should be interceptions, which weren't interceptions. If that was Tua, it would be like, turnover worthy play, all that kind of stuff. We're not going to get that because it's Zach Wilson.
Bro, I don't entertain none of that, bro. It's funny how people really do that, and I know they do. And it's just like, bro, I ain't got time for that, man. Y'all, they have to pivot, bro. They have to come up with something. They have to be like, all right, this is not going the way we thought, and then they just throw something in their favor. Like, whatever you, if it helps you sleep at night, you know what I'm saying, that Tua has turnover worthy plays, like, go see the person or the quarterbacks that actually have double the turnovers than he does. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, man, relax. Like, and I'll be real. Ball security used to be an issue for Tua, but it's no longer an issue anymore.
What's 18 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, like,
and not just picks though, like fumbles. You know what I'm saying? Strip sacks. Like, nah, bro, it's not an issue no more, bro. And matter of fact, that's the perfect pivot to shout out to Sherrod Steve again. Hit me with catch the blitz O-line ranking of the year. And currently the Miami Dolphins are 10th best O-line according to Catch the Blitz. And I think there's some here that says, since Tua returned from injury, the pocket has been incredibly clean. He's been sacked just twice in their last 4 games. Now, that was Thomas. Boy, you got a last name, boy. Portnick. Oh, I think I did it right. Thomas Portnick. Hey, I feel good about that. My bad if I got your name wrong, Thomas. But so the Catch the Blitz has us at the 10th best O-line in the league. And I'm gonna be fair both ways, because the same way there are quarterbacks that hold the ball too long and give up a sack, that sack is credited to the O-line. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, the O-line is poor because the quarterback held on to the ball too long. So if we're going to be fair, we got to be fair that, okay, Tua still gets the ball out faster than 30 other quarterbacks in the league. So I think it's a perfect marriage that we're getting the ball out faster. We're not asking the O-line to do more. But I also believe the O-line is performing better. Remember once upon a time, Kadeem, when Skylar Thompson and Teddy Bridgewater were in, and we were like, yo, I don't know if I want Tua to play behind this O-line. You know what I'm saying? But they are playing better. Tua does get the ball out fast. And for my dollar, if I'm being real with you, we're going to have to make a acquisition in the offseason, whether it's a trade, whether it's a free agent, or whether it's in the draft. If you said one position, knowing that the O-line is performing well now, what position would that transaction be? You know what I'm saying? I still think it's going to be O-line, because you want better. Two people get hurt, then it's a wrap. So I'm still going O-line for my first major acquisition in the offseason.
I'd probably go corner, and I think it's funny because
we're going corner now. And when everybody came at Charlie Touche for the past 2 seasons, talk about, we don't need corners. Now we're here. We're going corner now. Okay.
But I think it's prior to, the start of the season, basically, Byron Jones's time in Miami, he's been super healthy in terms of, he's basically been available most of the time. Xavier Howard seems to have got over his injuries to the point where he's been injured, but he's been on the field. Hasn't been as productive, but he's been on the field. But what we've seen this year, in terms of we haven't seen Byron Jones yet. We're in week 11. We're not even sure he can be back in week 12. Like, I believe it's something like, if he doesn't play against the Texans, they're basically going to sit him for the rest of the year. So I'm looking at it going, they're both getting up there in age, both costing so much against the cap. If Byron Jones had been available so far this year, and we had essentially the best corner duo in the league, I'd probably have said, you know what, you try and ride with them one more year, and then so I go offensive line. But right now, I'm looking at going, yes, Kadeko, who's been an excellent, pickup in as an undrafted free agent. Yes, you get Drew Williams back next year, although we don't know what he can look like. But it's like you said, same way we lose to offensive linemen, the offensive line, completely crumbles. The defense hasn't completely crumbled, but I'm looking at going, I'll probably pick up a cornerback. And it's funny how, the tide turns or changes in, on the show and the way we view things.
So Tua, Ninga, Manu, Olipola, Tagovailoa had a post on his Instagram story. I don't know if it was posted on Twitter, but I do know it was on IG. And this is like a first time ever. Like the man is not active on social media. His Instagram account is basically there for his sponsors. You might get a post once every 3 months of him advertising something, right? That's it. That's all you get from Tua. You might get a sprinkle of a picture, like, you know what I'm saying, of a picture of him saying like thank you to something. Like he'll have his, thank you, right? But yesterday, Kadeem, I screenshotted you something from Tua's IG story. And Tua said, all my Fortniters, drop your epic names and let's get these dubs. Like, dog is out here on Fortnite, bro. Like everybody comfortable in the locker room. Tyreek Hill be gaming and podcasting at the same time and talking to people on. Now Tua finally has a social life. What's going on here, Kadeem? Like it's like the big bad wolf ain't there in the locker room no more, and everybody has a social life.
Yes, like that's not good podcasting, but like it's literally that. It's Tua got married in the off season. I think the way I remember that development was that someone posted a picture of him at, playing golf, and there was a wedding band on his hand, on his wedding finger.
Mm-hmm.
And people, eagle-eyed Twitter text was like, "Oh, Tua's got married," but obviously there was no announcement, so we kind of left it as it is. A journalist went through the county records, basically dug up, wedding certificates, found out Tua was married, asked him about it at a press conference, and Tua was like, "Yeah, don't do that. Like, don't dig into my personal life like that. That's just not something you should do. I want to announce it myself." He didn't get an opportunity. Mm-hmm. I say all of that to say this. Tyreek Hill posted a clip of him and Tua playing Fortnite, and I was like, "Tua games?" Like, I did not realize it. Like, because it's, I know, like, friend of the podcast, Javon Holland, we know he games, he's quite active. We know certain player games. Who was it? Juju Smith-Schuster, I believe, he plays Fortnite.
I think Trill Williams is a gamer. I could be mistaken, but I think Trill's a gamer.
But yeah, quite a few of them by this stage in their career, you kind of know whether they game. Like, Drakey messaged me, Kayla Kohu was like, "Yo, drop your gamer tags, we'll play some Madden." I was like, "I don't have Madden this year. If I did, I'd jump on there, beat him, and when I beat him, I'm like, yo, jump on the podcast." That's how it would have worked. It hasn't happened yet. When it happens,
right.
But also to go back to the whole social life, all that kind of stuff. I take it you know that Tua has a baby girl as well, don't you? I take you know.
Hey, so I don't know. I don't want to say I don't care, but if he has a child, he has a child. Like, it's like, okay, and like I don't care about. All right, let me not say to use the word care. I don't know that someone else on the football team has kids or not. So for it to be Tua, I don't think it has to be put under a microscope. Like, hey, did you know this man had a kid? He was like, yo, I just want my daughter to be a successful NFL quarterback for my football team, and I want to bring my prophecy to light. Like, yo, we're gonna win the Super Bowl in Tua's rookie contract. So how many kids he pops out and how many times he gets married doesn't matter to me, Holmes.
Yeah, but quickly, it's like, so that clip of Tyreek and Tua playing Fortnite, there was a baby crying in the background. Now people on Twitter were like, "Oh, does Tua have a baby?" But again, I think after the marriage situation, it was like when Tua decides to announce it, we'll congratulate him then. Until then, us people who have noticed it, cool. Everyone else, go about your business. And then it was the whiteout game, where people took photos of Tua, his wife, and I assume their baby. And to cut a very long story short, yeah, Tua has a very active social life. He's now, as he's becoming more comfortable, as he's, getting emboldened by the team, Coach McDaniel, all that kind of stuff, that his social life, his personal life is coming out there, because it's like, he probably doesn't feel like he needs to hide it anymore. Tua was mic'd up against the Browns, and shout out to Tilly on Twitter. She posted a side-by-side or like, one clip after another.
Contrast.
A contrast, yeah, great word. Thank you for that. I'm gonna be the journalist. Awful. Of Tua mic'd up when Brian Flores was in the building, and Tua mic'd up when McDaniel was in the building. And with Brian Flores, it was like, yep, yes, sir. And no matter what Brian Flores was saying, like, yes, sir, yep, yes, sir. And people were like, yeah, that's what happens when your boss, you don't like your boss. It's like, you want to get over here as soon as possible. Yo, Charlie, have you got the reports? Yes, sir. Yo, Charlie, lunch break. Yes, sir. Like, that's how it is.
Yeah.
You're your own boss now. If your employees do that to you, they don't like you, dude.
Hey, I feel you. You now, but I don't have that with none of my employees. But we here, me and my employees here. I feel like you take care of your employees, they take care of you.
And excellent, segue, because McDaniel takes care of Tua. You watch Tua's mic'd up, and he's hyped. They're conversating, they're having conversations, and even on the sideline, I think when at this point Tua's been taken out and Skylar's been brought in, and I think coaches like I believe the final stat line's like 372 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and Tua's like, yeah, cool. And you can see coaches like, dude, like, be hyped, be happy, you're like, they have a separate conversation where Coach McDaniel's like, you're playing excellent football, you're taking care of the ball, you are dissecting teams. Like, it's okay to take a step back, look back at your work and go, I'm doing good. But Tua being Tua was like, I'm only doing good. I can do better. Tua's the kind, and Tua's not the only person like this, but we're both perfectionists. We can put out the best episode we do, knowing full well that if we go back and go, you know what, we could have cleaned this up. Better. Yeah, for sure. And Tua's probably thinking, I had a 79% pass completion. It could be 80, it could be 85, it could be 90. He knows everything. And again, McDaniel's spoken about that. Tua's spoken about that. But yeah, Tua's social life, his personality is coming out week by week. And it's such a wonderful blessing to see at the moment.
Hey, it's Go Time Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins podcast that goes not only across the pond, but across the world. I'm your boy, Charlie Touche. Got my co-host, Kadeem Simmons with me. It's always for the fans, by the fans.
Flag on the play. Flag on the play.
It's not a flag, bro.
Flag on the play.
It's not a flag, bro. That's not a flag. I stumbled coming out the pocket. It's not a flag. A flag was when Zach Bush, when Not the Best Drawings was on here, and I lost that. I threw a pick on that one. That was a turnover. You know what I'm saying? That was not really a flag. But I wanted to say, listen, man, we appreciate everyone who rock with us here on this podcast. We're approaching 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. We've had tons of support on the audio side. And now that we're getting support on the visual side, man, we appreciate y'all. Everybody who rocks with us. Like, I always get myself in trouble when I say who we appreciate more. You know what I'm saying? I guess I can't have a favorite kid. You know what I'm saying? But, we appreciate the old listeners, the new listeners, the old subscribers, and the new subscribers. Please continue to help us get to 1,000 subs. And y'all know what time it is, man. Kadeem, my thing with the social life and Tua is, it's not that he didn't have a social life before or his friends on the team didn't support him before. It was just, the man couldn't even watch ESPN. The man couldn't even really turn on the TV without his name being in the news for something that he didn't do. You know what I'm saying? Like, Deshaun Watson's coming to the Dolphins. You know what I'm saying? Now he has to answer that's why I said the Dolphins didn't do him any favors with that Deshaun Watson stuff. You know what I'm saying? You want this kid to be successful for you or not? Because if you don't, then go ahead and do this Deshaun Watson stuff and let him have to suffer through it in the public eye. And if you wanted to be successful, then put this stuff to bed or handle your business in a better way. You know what I'm saying? This is supposed to be a franchise. I'm supposed to be a franchise player. Shout out to Allen Iverson. This is supposed to be a franchise quarterback. He need to be respected more than they were respecting him. And honestly, it got to a point where I like, dang, bro, I see Tua like winning and leaving because of the way he was treated through all the foolery in his first 2 seasons with the Dolphins. So now, like you mentioned on Mic'd Up, you can tell he's comfortable. The man gets on social media now. We get a little bit more Tua in the public on the media availabilities. You know what I'm saying? The man got jokes. And now he's on Fortnite. Like, hey, drop y'all names. Well, we going live on Fortnite. You feel me? And honestly, if I'm being real, I feel like that's who he was in college. We probably was that in college until he ran into the buzzsaw of the NFL and couldn't be who he wanted to be in himself, and people doubted him and all that good stuff. But it is what it is. How about this, Kadeem? I sent you something that I said let's share on this on the podcast. You got the drops per team image?
Yeah. So I clicked something on the background and production wise, and I was like, yo, what did I just do? It looked weird. I didn't like it. So yeah, that's what that was.
So we got everyone listening to the audio version. We're pulling up a graphic, and it's from Fox NFL, and it says drops per team through week 10. So we're recording this on Sunday. There's games going on right now. These drops do not what's the word I want? These drops
Take into account.
No. These drops do not reflect. Reflect, journalists. These drops do not reflect the games today, right? So if you're looking on a YouTube version, if you're listening to the audio version, check us out on YouTube. But if you're following us on YouTube and you're watching, you'll see that the two teams in the NFL with the most drops are the Chargers and the Buccaneers with 20 drops. And that's tied for first. And the very next team with 19 drops are the Miami Dolphins. And for those of us who thought we had a lot of drops and just didn't know what people constituted as drops and what people thought a drop was, we got our answer. What kind of? But 19 drops, third most in the NFL, the Miami Dolphins. Kadeem, this is not a good thing. And for people saying, oh, bro, you nitpicking, I don't think I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think this is valid. Like, bro, 19 drops. We almost lead the league in drops. You know what I'm saying? And I'm being real. I don't know what they constitute as a drop, because I feel like we have more than 19, because I think they got Jalen Waddle for 5, you know what I'm saying, and then Waddle for 3. And I kind of felt like I seen Waddle for 5 and Hill for 3. And I feel like I seen Hill drop like 3 in one game. You know what I'm saying? But this is where we at. How much of an issue are drops for us?
Well, I have this. This is from NBC Sports. This is the passes dropped. So it's a bit small. Let me increase the size so we can see a bit better. That's big enough. So top of the NFL lead is Travis Kelce with 6 drops. You can see Chase Edmonds is tied for second with 5. You would have to assume that most of them came when he was with Miami.
At least 4.
Jalen Waddle. Huh?
At least 4.
Yeah.
And we could probably name the 4 too, if we're being for real.
Yeah. Also tied for second is Jalen Waddle with 5, and Tyreek Hill has 4. Now, I can't see anyone else on this list who's a Miami Dolphin. We've only got the top 16 people, and there's nothing on here we can put it into teams. So maybe a bit more digging, I can find out who and where. But it's concerning that of our 19 drops, 5, 9, 14, 13 comes from 3 players. It's like, yo, let's clean this up. But like you said, it's one of those things where what constitutes a drop, there's probably some which they haven't given a drop. Like,
right.
What was the interception Jalen Waddle had?
It bounced off his chest, and it was a pick. And it's funny you say that, Kadeem, because I was just about to go into Tua has 3 interceptions on the season, and one of them bounced off of Jalen Waddle's chest. So, like, one can argue, the Tua only got really like 2 picks on the season. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, it's crazy that you mentioned that.
I believe I think Gesicki probably has one. He had one. What was the game you had that ticket and Gesicki needed a touchdown and like it hits him in his face essentially?
No,
that was the Browns game.
No. Yeah. The last game was the Browns game. I don't think it hit him in his. He should have caught it. I don't think it hit him in his face though.
But I feel like doesn't that kind of go through his hand? Doesn't hit him in his face? Kind of like, doesn't he like at least get hands and you think that's a touchdown? Oh no! And I think
You know what? I wonder if that's a drop.
And that's the thing. It's like, is a drop, someone's wide open, hands drop, dude, that's on you, or is it, kind of contested?
Non-contested, yeah.
Yeah, and again, that's where, given how detailed the NFL is, I'm sure there's like paid sites where you can really break down drops, all that kind of stuff. Because one of the things, same way I like to see a bigger breakdown of drops, I genuinely think we need to get to a point, or there should be a point starting from next season, or even this season, where they look at interceptions from a quarterback and say these are on the quarterback, and these are hits the receiver's hands, and the receiver drops it, or hits the receiver's hands, and the corner makes a great play, rips it out. They both had interceptions, but they go against the quarterback, and Tua's like, yo, I can't do anything more than that. I put the ball on the money, it's on the money, and my receiver kind of let me down. So yeah, I'll be interested to see what constitutes as a drop and who else they've accredited drops for this season.
Not going too far into the Houston game, but we're coming off a bye. Felt pretty good, so I feel rejuvenated too myself. Like, all right, let's get it. It's the last half of the season, and we're getting ready for the final stretch. We got Houston coming up. We go on the road to play San Fran, stay out in California and play the Chargers. Then we travel to Buffalo for our first cold weather game of the season, and we'll just go from there. But what would you like to see after our bye coming into these next few games?
A continued improvement on penalties. I think that's an easy fix. And then I guess also, again, clean up our play on special teams, both from a Jason Sanders taking or making extra points and field goals, and then not giving up huge chunks, by opposite opponents, returning kicks and punts. But also, listen, we had a long discussion in the offseason about whether Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill will be returning punts and kicks. Not a thing as of right now. And to be fair, it's probably one of those things where they haven't actually needed to. Like, I think we kind of agreed that if they were like, down 3 with a minute left in the fourth quarter, you probably will see a Jalen Waddle or Tyreek Hill back there.
There was actually a time when I think it was the Ravens game. We were like, yo, if there's never a time where Tyreek Hill is going to return a punt, why not now when we're down and we can, saying, and I think we were already on the comeback type thing.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's going to happen.
Same. But then also a continued pass rush and a continued. No, I would love to get back to me annoying you after every Xavier Howard interception and just sending you Exhibit X. Like, when was the last time the Dolphins had an interception? And I believe the one I can think of would be Javon Holland week 1 against the Patriots.
No, that could Javon Holland against the Steelers. Oh, and Noah Igbenogany had one.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, we had 3 picks that game, Kadeem.
Did we? Dude, again, that was my birthday and I slept. So I watched it back and I remember Noah, but like, again, I joked a couple of weeks ago that the season where we got a turnover / interception every single game was probably us. Did he miss that field goal? Oh, but this game is rubbish. Was we probably used up, all our interceptions for the next 3 years that one season. So I want to see. Going after the bye week. I want to see all 3 phases of football complement each other. I want to see the Dolphins create turnovers, create sacks, create fumbles. I want to see, the run game continue to improve. I want to see special teams improve. And I think that's probably the most Coach Belichick answer you're ever going to get out of me. But I genuinely think that's how the Dolphins, win the 1 seed in the AFC by just, playing better complementary football. How about you?
I just want to win games. I feel like, bro, like this is it. It's okay. I know it's not believable, and I know as Dolphin fans, we just can't. I'll wait. I'll wait. I'll save that one. But I just I want to see sustained success. And what does that look like? That looks like taking care of the ball on offense, continued drives on offense, um, more stops on defense, more pressures on the quarterback, more putting once the Dolphins go up 13, it should be this game might get out of hand. You know what I'm saying? Like no team should be able to catch up to the Dolphins because we're up 13 points on them, and now Chubb and Phillips and Ingram can get after their quarterback. So yeah, maybe we don't have our DBs, but we still have a D line that gets paid big money to go get somebody. So that's what I would like to see. I would like to see, yeah, that's fair. Complimentary football, very good, Junior Grasshopper. So I would like to see complimentary football, and if we could come, all right, maybe one seed is asking like too much. Y'all tripping, yeah, maybe, but we could get the 2 seed, bro. We could win the division. You know what I'm saying? So we have the lead in the division right now. Let's keep it. You know what I'm saying? Let's play the type of football we need to play to where if the Chiefs mess up, guess who's on their tails? Us. Me. That's who. You don't know what movie that was, huh? Me. That's who.
Nah, I'm going to need more than that.
Nah. Matter of fact, I'm not going to give him more than that, and I'm not even going to say what movie it is. And I need everybody in the comments to tell me where that came from, because Kadeem said he need more than that, and I trust people in the comments won't need more than that. So in the comments, tell me what movie that came from. Me, that's who. Anyway, hey, look, y'all know what time it is. Stay positive, test negative. For Kadeem Simmons, I'm Charlie Touche. Thank you for tuning in this time. Make sure you catch us next time on Go Time. Already.
Make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Don't waste no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time.
You're really struggling with my name, aren't you?
Hey, man, I don't know what it is, bro. I might as well just start calling you Kareem. I know you hate that, bro. I know you hate that.
So I'm just looking at I really can't find how many drops our players had, and it's not major. I'm just interested to know, how it looks.
I don't think we're ever gonna find out either. Because if I had to guess, I'll probably say these drops that these stat places have are probably like uncontested drops, as opposed to contested. Oh, you should have caught that drops. You know what I'm saying? I think they give benefit of the doubt to the player that it was a defensive breakup and not a drop. So for us, just eye test watching the game, yeah, we probably give them more drops than what they actually have in the statistics.
Yeah, it's So I'm not. No, I'll share it with people because I'm now in that. Oh, this is fairly interesting. So I'm currently looking at our touchdowns in terms of players, and what's good / interesting is the fact that a number of players have caught touchdowns this year. Tua, and to a lesser extent, Braylon, Skylar Thompson, and Teddy Two Gloves have distributed the ball evenly, when they've been on the field and stuff. Mm-hmm. So Jalen Waddle leads the team with 6.
These are receiving touchdowns.
Yeah. But Mike Gesicki is again having a sneaky good season because he's currently tied for second with Tyreek Hill. They're both on 4. River Craycraft has 2. And then Jeff Wilson, Raheem Mostert, Trent Sherfield, Alec Ingold, and Chase Edmonds have 1 each. And yeah, I think that's telling in terms of, Tua's go-to guys in the red zone. But when you then, I guess, take it when you go to look at receptions, and obviously we all know there's a clear 1 and 2, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Mike Gesicki is the third most targeted, has the third most receptions on the league with 24, and then Trent Sherfield is sneaky fourth with 22. And I guess the one thing we just didn't expect is Cedric Wilson to be way down there with just 7.
Yeah,
Not to say,
go ahead. You had a question?
well, yeah, I can say, within the bye week,
Keep this up.
yeah. I think it's easy to say, well, if you have Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, why would you just target them over and over again? But what do you think has happened to Cedric Wilson? Or is it literally we brought him in to be the number 2, and then we brought in Tyreek Hill, and all of a sudden the entire plan changed, and there's nothing you can really do about that?
No, I think that's exactly what happened. I think we brought him in to be the number 2 to Jalen Waddle, and plans changed, just like you said it. Now, what's funny to me is you said targets. Mike Gesicki is third in targets, but then you corrected yourself and said he's third in receptions, but he's actually third in targets too. So I know it feels like to everyone, we don't use Mike Gesicki, because I'm gonna be fair, we kind of don't really use him. So in essence, it's still the Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill show, because the third targeted receiver on the Dolphins is Mike Gesicki, and we all know how little it feels that we target this man. So behind Mike Gesicki is Trent Sherfield at 22, and then Mostert, and actually all the running backs. And Cedric Wilson has 11 targets. 11. Now, I was trying to do some quick math, but Tyreek Hill almost has as many targets as Jeff Wilson does on average. Like, I said Jeff Wilson. What's his name? Cedric Wilson. Cedric Wilson has 11 targets, bro. Like, Tyreek Hill gets targeted on average 10 times a game, bro. That's wild to me, bro. There's something to be said about that. So I gotta imagine we're gonna address this. I don't know if we're gonna eat dead cap and move on from Cedric Wilson or what, but that's not sustainable, bro. Like, Trent Sherfield is a legitimate third option, bro. I remember telling everybody, like, yo, he's a receiver. He's a receiver that plays special teams. Unlike Mac Hollins, in my opinion, which is my dog, shout out to Mac, he's a special teamer that plays receiver. So we're ahead of the curve here when it comes to salary cap. And now you're gonna have all kind of good things happen in the offseason when people are gonna want to come to play in Miami for less now. Like, oh, I want to go to Miami. I like what they're doing down there. They're a good team and all this good stuff. So we're looking good where we are right now.
One name who isn't on this list is our 4th round pick, Eric Ezukanma. And I guess is it as simple as we have Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, and Trent Sherfield and River Craycraft, when he's been healthy, have been so good that Eric Ezukanma just, hasn't found a way to break into the team, and because he doesn't play special teams, his role is limited. The flip side to that is it similar to friend of the podcast Mars Gaskin situation, where his rookie season essentially, watching from the sideline, where he gets to learn even more? And would you say that's a more, I don't want to say productive way to have a rookie season, but it's a way to, I guess, learn on the job, if that makes sense?
So I just sent you something, Kadeem, and I sent you this when we played Detroit about 3 weeks ago. If you could share this video from Twitter, I'll talk you through it. Now, to answer your question, the video, in my opinion, is going to answer your question. And here's my thing about Eric Ezukanma, and it actually pertains to Cedric Wilson too. Trent Sherfield is a dude, bro. we're about to share this clip on Twitter. It's a video of what Trent Sherfield does. This is why I said we shouldn't go after Odell Beckham Jr. You got the tweet, Kadeem?
Yeah, just let us load up. Give me a sec.
Cool. So this is why we shouldn't go after Odell Beckham Jr. Because your third option, as far as wide receivers goes, is Trent Sherfield. He's the third option, not Cedric Wilson, not River Craycraft 400. You almost made me call this man River Craycraft. Craycraft 400, and not Eric Ezukama. And for everyone watching YouTube right now, shout out to King of Finland. This is the exact reason why Trent Sherfield is Trent Sherfield. This man, all right, so we highlighted arrow. There's a highlighted arrow of where you can find Trent Sherfield at in the video. He goes into motion, turns the corner, full speed, takes out a safety, a whole safety, blocking, leading the way. Like this man, like puts his body on the line for the team. 37 plays out of the 60 on offense because he's an elite blocker on the field. So that I kind of feel like that's telling because I don't know if Eric Ezukama, I'm not saying he's unwilling. It's just that Trent Sherfield is better at blocking than Eric Ezukama. I believe. I got to believe that has weight in it. I got to believe that means something to Mike McDaniel who wants to run the ball. So shout out to Trent Sherfield, man. We need to give him a nickname too. He's earned it.
But I think, and again, that's totally valid why Trent Sherfield's on the field so much. But two names that spring to mind would be Cedric Wilson, and I guess Braylon Saunders, who has also, come in at some point as well.
Mm-hmm.
Could Eric Ezukama not take their snaps, for one game? Do you know what? We're going to elevate or we're going to activate, dress up Eric Ezukama and not dress up Braylon Saunders.
Mm-hmm.
Like Trent Sherfield right now is essentially wide receiver 3. I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that.
No,
Eric Ezukama, if Cedric Wilson is basically returning or calling fair catch on, punts and stuff, could Eric Ezukama take his role and then just have Javon Holland return, over here Mostert is also returning punts and kicks.
Here's my thing. I believe Cedric Wilson is the better wide receiver when it comes to catching the ball and playing the wide receiver position. Cedric Wilson is better than Eric Ezukama and better than Trent Sherfield and better than Craycraft 400. But for what the Miami Dolphins do, they need someone more. They need something more than just catching the ball and running with it as a wide receiver in that wide receiver 3 window. So now they have all this talent at wide receiver 3. And if I'm being honest with you, it's probably Cedric Wilson's the best receiver, then Eric Ezukama, then Trent Sherfield. But because Trent Sherfield can do so much, it's about what you can do. You know what I'm saying? Because he could do so much, he elevated himself above the others on the roster. So again, and this is now going into speculation, we don't know what Braylon Sanders is doing. We don't know what Ezukama is doing. I doubt they're wetting the bed in practice. I believe they're still legit receivers. I believe they could probably start on, I don't know about start. They would probably be on the 53. They'll probably be dressed, you know what I'm saying, during games, during weeks on other teams. But because Trent Sherfield is blocking so good, I think this is why he has a role on the Miami Dolphins that's so significant.
And I think I mentioned, friend of the podcast, Miles Gaskin, because he said when he was on the sideline up in the stands watching, he was like, okay, these are what these guys are doing. This is what I need to do. And I think, Eric Ezukama is probably itching like, I just want to put pass catches. I want to show Mike McDaniel and, the offensive staff that, I can contribute as well. But you probably know, like, if we ever get him on the show, I wouldn't be surprised if he said something very similar. Yes, I wanted to play, but being able to, to sit and watch and learn. And, even if he's on the sideline, speak to a Tyreek Hill, a Jalen Waddle, a Trent Sherfield, and they go, I'm doing this, you could be doing this, and all that kind of stuff. Like, he's got hopefully a very long and successful career in the NFL. And, sitting this first year and learning could mean that, in year 2, he's leaps and bounds, above other guys in year 2 who might have played more, but he's, I guess, acquired more knowledge and kind of knows the role a bit better. But, some people would say that, there's nothing better than actually being on the field and, getting those reps in, live bullets, I guess.
One more time, Kadeem.
Oopsie.